here tonight. I'm joining you from upstate New York in Hudson Valley this evening. Um, we have passed the darkest nights of the year, and now the days get longer, and the light grows brighter. And I want to tell a story. 83 years ago in upstate New York, uh, a white vigilante gunman entered a Japanese American home. And he said, I'm going to solve the Jap problem today. And he opened fire on them. And he shot the father and killed him. He shot the mother and her mother-in-law and left them for dead. And their mentally disabled son fled into the woods, where he would be found many hours later by the neighbors who went in search of him. And the reason I tell you this story is because in rereading Matthew 2:13, I thought about the angel of mercy who came to Mary and Joseph. And I thought, why did that angel not come to my family? Why did that angel not warn my family to flee? Why did that angel not protect the holy child of my family? And I think a lot of people are asking that question right now across this country as they're being hunted, as children are being strip searched because it's legal now, because they just passed a law that they could do it inside of detention sites, that there's no accountability to ICE agents who are sexually abusing children inside these dark places right now, where families are being separated, where the rule of law is no longer existent, where due process no longer exists, and where we replicate the pattern of family separation in this country from the auction blocks of the slave trade that broke up African families kidnapped from their homeland, that separated indigenous families and sent children into boarding schools where they would be abused and murdered, that separated Japanese American families through FBI raids where they came into our homes and took all of the male leaders away and broke up our families, often for many years, and where they incarcerated over 125,000 of my people, half of them children. And my mother and her two sisters were amongst those 125,000. So in the darkest night of the year, on Christmas Eve, that's when that gunman shot my family. I often find myself asking the question, why did the angel not come to protect us? But I've learned something in reflecting about it, which is that the angel did come, actually. Because when I was a young teenage boy, Kay, my Aunt Katie, who was the mother in that scenario, she survived the gunman. And so did her mother-in-law. And so did their son Yoni, who fled into the woods, and his brother, who was at school that day. And Kay came after many decades in the 1980s to come live with my grandmother in Seattle. And that's when I met her. And she told me the story of what happened. And she also told me that that man never served a day in jail. They could never find a jury for him because there was so much racism that they could not serve a jury there. But she said it didn't matter, because as he had shot her through the neck And as he had walked away and left them for dead, she uttered in the best way she still could, "I forgive you." She offered him the humanity that he had tried to take from her. And so I realized that the angel of mercy came to me as a young teenager, and her name was Kei Ianaga. She came as a messenger to say that nonviolence is the transformative force of the universe, that hate begets hate, but love always seeds an open future. Love brings light, love brings possibility, and love brings transformation. These are the principles that Tsuru for Solidarity has operated on in our 6.5 years since the first Trump administration and the zero tolerance policy, when they stole children, ripped them from the arms of their parents, deported the parents, caged the children, and abused them. We have understood Kay's message, which is that love wins. Love is the only way to win in this time. We can't win with hate. We can only win with love and transformation. And that the change comes from inside. It's the internal tools, it's the internal transformation. And so that's why we joined with Kairos and our other national partners, because we all understand that this is the way we will win back this country. It's not by hating, it's not by seeing people who we don't agree with as our enemies. It's actually by going to get our people, to get our neighbors. And that's why the Free Families campaign is so important, because it understands that in a time when they have done away with the rule of law, when they're terrorizing people and again taking people from their homes, their workplaces, just like they did to my people, just like they did to my family, that we have to come together in this time. And this time we must break the cycle of violence. And we can come together. So in spite of an $187 billion bill to expand ICE, we'll stop them, because communities of faith and resilience are coming together through the Free Families campaign to say that we reclaim family values. We reclaim the protection and care of families. We understand and we reclaim the uplifting of the sanctity of children, who are the sacred trust. And we call in our neighbors, we call in our families, we call in our communities to stand with us in solidarity in protection of families and children across the country. The people who are supporting the violence right now are also from families that are in tremendous pain right now and have been manipulated deeply, I believe, often around economic issues. When this all settles, when this is done, they will still be in pain, and they will still need love and care from us, from everyone, so that we can all come together to forge a new future together, a future that opens for everybody this time. And that's why Free Families is so important. I am so, I'm feeling gratitude in this moment, even in the darkest time of the year, in one of the, perhaps the darkest year I've experienced in my long life. I see a sense of possibility. Just last week, members of the Free Families Coalition sponsored the very first cohort, leadership cohort academy for young survivors of detention. And their co-partners were young teens from West Virginia, Appalachia, who have suffered the ravages of the opioid epidemic and incredible poverty of a region that has been economically disregarded and left behind and disrespected. And so children of families that have been detained and children of families that have been ravaged by classism and the opioid epidemic coming together to make common cause, to support each other. And that's the work of this moment. And that's the light that leads us forward. So in this time, there's incredible reason to have faith. There's incredible reason to hold hope, and there's incredible reason to come together, to mobilize, to organize, and to remember that we must look for signs of the sacred within everything. Blessings to you all.